What's up YouTube, this is Coding for Noobs, and welcome to your 13th Java programming tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're actually going to do a brief introduction to arrays. And some may say that arrays are almost useless nowadays due to these things called collections, but I actually think it's important to learn because they did play an important role back a while ago, and they can actually still be used today in different applications, and they're a little bit easier. They'll help you understand collections later. But pretty much what an array is it's a set amount, or like a set of data, like it's set of data types. Like once we get programming, you'll start to understand better. But pretty much it's like storing like 8 integers in one variable, or 10 integers in one variable. So I'm just gonna call this project. I'm just gonna create a new project. I'm gonna call it tutorial, or we're just gonna call it array start. Sorry. And in here we're going to go to source and add new class, and I'm going to do public static void main, and we're going to call it our driver class. And inside our driver class, as you can see, we have some auto generated code, and then we're going to do main entry point of application. And if you don't know what the main entry point yet is, I suggest you guys actually go back a little bit and watch some of my videos, because it's kind of important to know, especially later when we start doing methods and functions, which is actually coming up in our next tutorial. But first, to get started, I guess I'll declare and show you the cool thing about arrays. So in previous tutorials, we learned that we had to do like int I equals 1, and then we do k equals, or I equals 0, sorry, k equals 1, j equals 2, m equals 3, n equals 4 kind of thing. And to get each of these values, we'd have to do, you know, system.out.println I and system.out.println k, and you know, etc., until we get down to j, m, n, you know, all those variables. And you know what? Yeah, sure, this may be a way that you have to do it for certain applications, but for other applications, it's actually a way easier to do it, and this is actually called arrays. So to get started, we're just gonna type in int, and that's because our array is going to be a group of data that are integer types. And in an array, you can actually only have one data type. So you can have an array of doubles, an array of integers, an array of strings. You know, like you can see an array right here actually, and you'll understand this a little bit later. But so when we create our array, we actually need these square brackets, and that pretty much just means, okay, we're creating an array. And from here, we can just name our array just like any other variable. So we're going to call ours ARR, I guess. And then there's a few different ways that we can set the values of it. And the first way being is we can do array ARR equals new int, and then we can set the amount of values in the array like this. So that means we have 10 values. Now, something very important to know about arrays and counting and programming is that when we count, we don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., etc., etc. We actually start at 0. So we do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that would actually be our 10 array indexes. And what an index is, it's pretty much the identifier to call our value in the array. Just a small graphic representation of how an array will actually store these values I'll do is something like we'll have the index, and then we'll have the value, and then we have another index, and then another value, and then another index, and then another value. So you'll understand what I mean by this in a few minutes. But as you can see, we now have an array, and the size of the array is 10. So we can store 10 different numbers in this one variable, r. To store variables with the way I've declared it right now, we can do r, and then 0 equals 10. And then we can do r1 equals 13. We can do r2 equals 90. r3 equals 23, etc., etc., etc. And just to show you that this actually works, we're going to do a nice little for statement, and we'll do for int I equals 0, I is less than r dot length I plus plus, and then we do system dot out dot println AR I. And sorry, I misspelled array twice. There we go. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start at index 0 in our array, and we're going to go all the way across to our last value. And we do less than the length because our length is 10 here, it's going to return 10. But our indexes only go to 9. So we need to go to 9 instead of 10. And I'll show you what happens if you go over 9 in a minute. I'm just going to show you real quick that it shows us 10 different numbers, well, 10 numbers, and we have our 10, 13, 90, 23, and then the rest are zeros. The other 6 numbers. If we do less than or equal to array.length, so we're going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're going to go out of bounds. And since there's no 11th value in the array, we're going to get this error here and your program is going to crash, which is why it's important to go one less than the length of the array when looping through. So another thing I can show you about these arrays right now is there's a different way we can declare the values in it. And instead of doing equals new int and assigning them one by one, we can actually just do curly braces like this. And we can do something like 1, 13, 43, 96, 3, 33, 333, 3333. And pretty much what this is saying, and then we do a semicolon at the end, sorry. What this is saying is create a new array, and it will automatically assign a size to the array based off of how many integers you input between these braces. And then it'll assign each of the indexes the value according to how they're listed here. So when we run this, we're going to see it output it in the same order that it was outputted, or that we listed them here. So we have 1, 13, 43, 90, 6, 3, 33, 333, and 3333. So that's just another way that we can declare these arrays. I'm running kind of long in this video right now. I kind of wanted all my videos to be about 5 minutes long, but since I'm going a little bit over, I guess I'm going to cut this one short. Arrays are going to be a little bit hard to understand right now, but later when we start using them for like our sorting and stuff, you'll start to grasp them a little bit better. Pretty much with arrays, it just takes practice and using them in the real world to really understand them. So we're actually just going to end this tutorial now, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. It's okay if you're a little bit confused right now. It's actually kind of like a really hard concept, like I said before. But yeah, I'm going to help guide you guys through it so you can actually understand how arrays work. In the next tutorial, we're actually going to learn something called methods, and then followed by functions, and then we'll probably go back to arrays again, and we'll do some more array work. That way you guys can understand how arrays work and are used in the real world. If you guys have any questions right now, you can post them, but I promise I'll do better explanation of arrays later. This is just a brief introduction. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, rate, and comment, and I'll see you guys later.